Hello, boys. Hello, girls. You are now listening and watching the Glorified House Show. I think this is episode 4. Maybe this is episode 4. I think this is episode 4. Let's just say it's episode 4. And a very slow news week in the world of wrestling. But there's a couple of things I'll like to just talk about, if that's okay. I think the first thing I'll jump on is this sort of thing that went on between Booker T and Corey Graves. Booker T went on to this radio show, and he decided to basically shoot on his dislike for Corey Graves. And it was very animated and very direct and very, to the point, to the fact that he did not like this guy. He made it seem that the reason why he wasn't no longer on the Raw commentary team was because Corey Graves was probably behind it, right? So, and then some Twitter stuff and this, that, and the other. And what ended up happening was, man, the fucking IWC fucking lost his shit yet again, because I think there was more grief on Booker T being upset. Now, granted, it was very petty of him to bring up this kind of stuff and to, quote unquote, threaten a coworker, but you have to keep it in the realm that these guys are wrestlers, right? It's in this wrestling, fucking metasphere, right? So between shoot and work is always left to question. You always got to leave it to question, like, how can Booker T openly threaten a guy? To this day, when someone has beef with another wrestler, if there's heat, 9 times out of 10, it's like behind the scenes heat. It's not like they'll walk out unless, they've been fired from, the job or what have you. They're doing indies, or they have no more connection with the company or the wrestler, and it's just a matter of just heat, where it is real heat. But these guys still work in the same company. When I first heard it, again, I questioned it, but then it's like, let's just say if it was real. One of the things that drove me crazy, and it's very much like the Ronda Rousey thing, where these women wrestlers were kind of upset because she stole the spotlight from the Royal Rumble thing, right? I get it, and they all spoke out online and whatever, and people stepping in is like, why are you upset? Why are you upset? Why are you upset? Why are you upset? Like the gatekeepers of how and when someone should be upset. I can't stand that. I can't stand that at all, right? And 9 times out of 10, anybody who has a beef with something, let them be a person of color and or a woman, you're not allowed to really be upset about anything. So even if it's just a matter of even if it's something that's super egregious as to having a family member or a friend, somehow be harmed or something, you still can express how angry you are. Now, you look at this situation, and the way that they try to make it seem, both Booker T and Corey, is that Corey, for a while on TV, has kind of been embarrassing him. Kind of been just, making him look stupid. You could have whatever feeling you have about Booker T and his color commentary skill. It's what it is. I can't say it's either good, it's bad. It's Booker T. You're not going to get it from anyone else, right? I listen all the time to how much he sucks, or how much he sounds like an idiot, how much he sounds like this, or how much he sounds like that. And I go well, I don't know. I know he's got a job. I know he does the best he can. And you know what? I wouldn't say any of those things to his face, right? And you have a lot of podcasters and stuff. They have behind their microphones, and they just bury the guy over and over. They laugh, they pick on him, to the point where it's almost suspect, right? And I just go, man, like, just ease up off the guy. You know, it's just entertainment. You know what I'm saying? It's just entertainment. And Corey on television, and we've all noticed it because we watched the show. You can tell that it gets a little testy sometimes. There was one time where Booker T was just like, it looked like he was about to like just reach across Michael Cole and strangle him. But anyway, I've always had a problem with people telling people how and when they should get upset about anything. And this was one of the things that bothered me about this whole situation, right? Whoa, man, he shouldn't be upset. It's like, who's to say how he should be and when he should be upset? If he's upset, it could be as petty as someone stepping on his shoes. If he's upset, hey, we all have different triggers. We all have different things that trigger us and piss us off and we react to. Not all of us are the same. I think I was on the Solomon sound off is like, well, yeah, I mean, and I asked the guy, I was like, don't you ever get upset about anything? And he was like, I'd be upset, like, if someone like robbed my mom or something. And I was just like, oh, so now there's there's categories of how someone should be mad. Man, fuck off with that bullshit. But after all of this, come to find out, it was all a work. It was all a work. Now, leave it to wrestling. Leave it to professional wrestling. And today, and wrestling today with the internet, social media, where these wrestlers are no longer outlaws. They're just actors and actresses, right? Well, you can flip up somebody's Instagram or someone's Twitter, and they're doing Make-A-Wishes and at Applebee's with like whoever they have a feud with, and being outside of what their gimmicks are. Bray Wyatt, like doing nice things, and so on and so forth. You go, anything is up for grabs nowadays when it comes to these wrestlers and how they present themselves. And this is an example of this. Now, I could be up in arms about like, man, here we go again with these wrestlers breaking the fourth wall. Here they go again, like playing with our emotions and this, that, and the other. That's why we don't like wrestling no more, because there's no real heat, there's no real drama, there's no real verses anymore. And I go, granted. Sorry about that. And I go, granted. And you make a point saying that, but like we're in too deep with this kind of shit. We're way too deep, and we will continue to break down that fourth wall to where, yes, I think ultimately we won't see them as wrestlers anymore. I mean, I guess for the WWE, for that matter, we will see them as people playing roles. Now, is that a good or bad thing? I don't know. When we get to that point, I guess we'll start questioning, is it to us to watch the show or to support the product anymore if there's no kayfabe, right? If there's nothing behind the storyline to believe in, because again, we don't watch wrestling like we watch Walking Dead or like Breaking Bad or like Game of Thrones. It's not set up that way to consume that way, right? It's like guys led to believe that there's friction and it's a battle of good and evil, young versus old, so on and so forth. And they settle their differences in the ring. Someone get that comeuppance. Someone, raises their, thrill of victory, agony, defeat. But like, I will say this about what they've done, and it's something as simple as the boy who cried wolf, right? We as fans, we don't take lightly to being shown as idiots. You know, most people don't like to be, shown up as idiots. We don't want to be seen as fools. Don't try to make us look stupid. And that's what ribs are. Ribs are made to make people look stupid or to make, embarrass somebody, but like they pulled a rib on us. We as consumers, we as people who support the product, we're not in it for that. We're in it to root you on or boo you, right? We're here to see you settle your differences in the ring. We're here to just sort of take it all in. And as much as, again, kayfabe has been broken, we still manage to hold on to a little bit of it's still real to me, damn it, right? So take a situation like this where you get these two guys who could have had, a legitimate heat and storyline or what have you, but to pull the wool from over us, it's unnecessary. I would much rather them just ran with this sort of faux beef and have it kind of die out on its own, because it's not like it's going to be settled in the ring, right? It's not like Corey Graves is going to be, cleared to wrestle, and it's not like Booker T. Maybe he is out of retirement, but like it's not like he's going to be able to book. They're not going to. WWE obviously he's not going to book the match, and they're not going to put their jobs in jeopardy or health to sort of book the match maybe for Booker T's promotion. So like all of these elements are sort of missing. So after a week, because that's what happens with the week. Just like the Enzo Amore thing. That whole thing lasted a week, and now we're just sort of like moved on to the next thing. We moved on to Ronda Rousey as fast as a guy was accused of rape, right? And now we move on from Ronda Rousey, and we've moved on to this little thing, right? So I guess the point I'm saying is you're going to lose the goodwill of people. It's one thing for us to sort of understand that these are simulated, rivalries. But like when you're trying to break the fourth wall, and you're trying to, not trying to break the fourth wall, when you're trying to still, even outside the ring, give us a bit of drama, our ears perk up to certain angles. If you're going to step out in front of it and be like, ha ha, we just ribbed you. We're just fucking with you. We have no beef. We have this. We don't have this. We're good friends. And then you catch a fucking, see an Instagram clip of them basically like, hugging each other or, what I'm saying, sucking each other's cock. And it's just like, really? You didn't really have to do that. Like, what are you going to get out of that? Like, what personally Booker T and Corey Graves will get out of making people look like idiots? Now, I don't know how Vince feels about this, and maybe Vince got out in front of it and told him to sort of cut it out. So, if he's part of it, then shame on him too, right? If he got people calling him and say, hey, what's up with these two employees of yours going at each other's throats? And him going like, guys, y'all got to rectify this shit right now. I get it. But still, man, like, give it a week, motherfuckers would have just forgot all about it, right? Would have forgot all about it. And now you've toyed with the trust of your consumer. You've toyed with us. Like, the next time, let's just say Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar start beefing over that stiff knee, followed by like a left and a right, to basically stagger Braun Strowman. Let's just say they would say, man, there's been heat between Brock and Braun since that, that two-piece biscuit he got, get these hands. No, he caught some hands, right? Let's just say there was beef. We'll sit back unless like you're just a supermarket and like just a fool for anything. People like me and people like me who are just like already kind of weary now, more so with this situation of them making us look like fucking idiots. We are going to look at that, and we're not going to give it any time of the day unless someone jumps out and, there's a real fight, like say someone world star them at a fucking Chick-fil-A, like beating each other to a bloody fucking pulp, on some real shit. None of us are going to give a damn about anything outside of the WWE universe and storyline when it comes to beef. That shit was fun. I mean, ultimately, everyone had something to say about it. But for us, as the fans and the people who watch the show and consume the product, that was fun stuff. And we all sat back waiting to see what the fallout would be. You know what the fallout was? Us looking like idiots. Like fucking idiots. And again, that shit don't fly too well. Not with me anyway, So Booker T is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. In my top 3, Dustin Rhodes, Diamond Dallas Page, and Booker T. They're like my favorites. But man, Booker T, fuck you for doing this. You should have just let it shit drifted, and we would just all had like an imagination of you just beating the living shit out of Corey Graves. And Corey Graves, your shit ain't sugar. You know what I'm saying? Like your shit doesn't smell like roses as much as all these fucking wrestling guys, love you. These wrestling marks love you and everything you do. Your shit isn't sugar. You know what I'm saying? And for you to play us like clowns, it's not fun. It's not funny. I guess you and you and Booker T are fucking just hamming it up and how y'all made us look like idiots, But if it's any consolation, fuck you, all right. And I think a lot of us fans feel the same. I'm trying to think. There's something else. I think I wanted to give I want to talk about this fucking triple threat stuff. Something that I've noticed. Here's a segment called Something I've Noticed. I've noticed that I remember when I was doing the Peter Talk SmackDown and Peter's Raw review and all that shit. And one of the things I remember this funny segment I did talking about the triple threat matches and all that stuff. You had the two things that were running rampant at the time. You had the distraction roll up, and you had the triple threat matches, the 4-way and the fatal 4-ways and things of that nature. And I was thinking, man, oh my God, this is 2 years ago. I was like, man, these fucking triple threats, these fatal 4-ways are getting out of hand. They're getting out of hand. Like, I wish to God something can happen about these triple threats and these fatal 4-ways. I wish they can go away. They're not memorable. We remember Andre Hogan. We remember Piper Hogan. We remember Macho Man. We remember Macho Man Ricky Steamboat, right? We go Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, The Rock. We remember these matches. They're more memorable. This guy has a beef. I hate you. I want to kill you. I hate you. I want to kill your ass too. Get in a ring and you settle it mano a mano, right? We remember these matches. Trish and Lita, right? We remember these matches even more so because they were one-on-one. These triple threats and these fatal 4-ways, man, back in the day, when there was a triple threat match, and this is something I brought up even then, when you had a triple threat match, it was because shit was so out of whack. I mean, it was like every man for himself. You had these 3 people that had a real beef, and it was like, oh man, like, it's one thing to have these 2 guys going at it. Now, 3 of these motherfuckers are about to go at it. And it was good. We hardly ever saw it. It was a wonderful dynamic at the time. So, like, we're intrigued to see how these 3 people settle their shit in the ring, right? It's going down. That's how bad this is. They can't contain all three or four of these motherfuckers to having just one-on-one. The only way it can be solved is all four of them just gonna go at each other's fucking throats. And it was a special thing. And you caught them like once or twice a year, maybe. And I would say it started maybe 4 years ago when they were doing just all of a sudden it was like a triple threat match here, a triple threat match there, maybe at like Extreme Rules, you know, maybe, you know, at these B shows, these B pay-per-views like Capital Punishment, there'd be like a triple threat there, or like maybe some random Raw, there'd be like a fatal four-way, you to see who's the number one contender for this, or even on SmackDown, you know, like, but still far and few. And then all of a sudden, it became the new one-on-one match, where it's like, oh my God, like, I can't stand it. Like, I can't remember, even to this day, there's only maybe one or two triple threat or fatal four-way matches that I remember worth a fuck. Maybe three that were worth a fuck. But the rest have, like, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't even tell you who was in those matches. I couldn't even tell you. And it's become the norm now. Like, it's become such a norm that these fatal four-ways and these triple threat matches happen that we as consumers, and we talk about, well, maybe they'll meet in a triple threat. Maybe they'll get a fatal four-way. And we add that to our conversation like that's a normal thing. You know, that's what's been happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, I listen to all my favorite fucking, you know, podcasters, and they all talk within this thing that the triple threat match is just as normal as a one-on-one. And I go, no. I can't, it bothers me. It hits a part of my brain that triggers like this chemical reaction just to make this face like, you know, for these people, even to consider it an option drives me crazy. You know, it drives me nuts because I just want to just have a one-on-one match. That's all I want. Is that too much to ask for? Just a one-on-one match without even the idea that there's going to be someone, a third party, to sort of like muddy it up? It's just like, I refuse to accept it. Years from now, I will refuse to accept it. Because it's like, why reinvent the wheel? I get it. These people want to get paid and this, that, and the other. I mean, there's 3 hours of Raw. There's 6 hours of fucking WrestleMania. You know, there's 2 hours of SmackDown. There's so much programming on fucking WWE that at some point, somebody's going to make money, regardless. You don't have to have a triple threat and a fatal four-way to every fucking time, every week, every pay-per-view to prove some point of who's the best or who's the champ. It's stupid. It makes absolutely no sense that it's the norm. That's what drives me crazy. That's what's driving me crazy. That it's normal now. It's become the norm to talk about, you know, to give prospects on a pay-per-view. Okay, this SummerSlam for the Intercontinental Championship, we got The Miz and we got, you know, Elias Sampson both coming. But just last week, Elias Sampson lost to, I don't know, lost to like Finn Balor. So maybe it becomes a triple threat at SummerSlam. Maybe it becomes a triple threat at Survivor Series. Maybe it becomes a triple threat at Extreme Rules. It's like, fuck. I refuse to accept this way of thinking. And you'll never hear me, because of the storyline, I'll bring it up. But I'll never, ever, ever, ever give a fantasy booking or see where things can show up where I'll be like okay with saying that there's going to be a third individual in a match because between the three of them is this unsettled business. It's like, that's stupid. I'll never do that. And I hope at some point, I hope at some point, other podcasters really get the gist of how silly it seems that we've become these people that are just sipping the Kool-Aid WWE gives us, and we just kind of go along with it after a while. We go kicking and screaming, but after a while we just sort of give in. Don't give in. Complain and bitch and moan about this stuff. It's not good enough. It sucks. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, as much as we like to think that we don't have a lot of say with the WWE, you know, like, oh yeah, they're just going to do whatever anyway. Again, we always use the example of John Cena because he's so popular, because he makes all the money. Well, if we apply that to everything, then you know what? We can make some fucking change. We can't do some faux like boycott of a network. You stop showing up to shows. I'm not asking for a boycott. What I'm asking for is, in order to let the WWE know that, you know, these triple threats and these fatal four ways have been done to death, turn your back. Go, if you want to go to the show, go to the show. Turn your back. Don't cheer on any of these things. Like, we're tired of this. No more triple threat. No more fatal fours. Like, just let them know with how disinterested you are with these fucking things. There's ways to go about it, but don't give in to this shit. I want to see still epic one-on-one wrestling matches. I still want to see that. I want to see it's the sign of the times. No, the fuck it's not. This shit's been going on for only a couple of years. Only like 2 or 3 years. Like hardcore triple threat fatal four-way matches. Before that, we have years and years and years. Now, it's one thing to give a fucking cell phone, you know, promo. That's a sign of the times, right? That's a sign of the fucking times. But to all of a sudden have to change our thought process to triple threats, you know, to this sort of thinking of how a wrestling match or an event or storyline should go, I think we just have to sort of reevaluate our fanship and expect better. You're like, why are we settling? Why are we settling for this? I don't get it. Why are we settling? Either way, maybe there's something else to talk about. Maybe I'll bring it up next week. Is it anything else? Other Booker T, and then, you know, I wanted to talk about the WrestleMania card too, but it's not even that interesting. I mean, I think I was going to talk about how, you know, the way that everything's shaping up, it's not shaping up too great, WrestleMania, to me. You look at it for what it is. You know, we have all these expectations. It's a real big, you know, money grab for Vince McMahon and company. But, you know, the only thing, for the most part, we're looking forward to is the Shinsuke AJ, even if we get that. But, like, I think this year is going to be like a star-studded event. It's not going to be a wrestling event no more. I think the direction that even that WrestleMania is going is that it's not going to be a wrestling show anymore. You know, wrestling is going to be how we get there, but I just don't see like this overnight thing where it's going to become like a wrestling show all over again. I can't remember the last time it was just, you know, this amazing wrestling show. You probably had like a match or two that were great, but then it's like, you know, WrestleMania now is like 8 hours long. It's going to be 8 hours long. It's going to be like a fucking Lollapalooza. And it's going to be like a bunch of celebrities. And it's going to be a bunch of music acts. And I feel like that's the direction it's going. Anyway, that's all irrelevant. Maybe next week, you know, the world of WWE will be a little more newsworthy. And I can probably tackle something a little more concrete or something. I mean, it's nothing. But yeah, it's pretty bleak right now, and we'll see next week But I still want to record something. I want to stay in the habit of recording something, and I apologize that it's this late again. It looks like Sunday is going to be the days I make and upload these, or even Monday. But either way, just know that the shit's still coming. By the way, I did make this shirt. If you're watching, I made a shirt. And, you know, it says Shinsuke cheated, and it has the Roman Reigns emblem underneath it. And it's basically like, it's me poking fun at the idea of the WWE justifying why Shinsuke Nakamura lost through the eyes of Roman Reigns. So, I mean, I don't know if you want one, I'll sell you one. I mean, I screen print, so I make these things. If you want one, just hit me up. I'll send you one. But until then, watch out for those foreign objects.